Hello, Cyrus of Sirus Gaming Spot, and this is Sirus Gaming Spot, a gaming podcast where I and Swordfish1390 talk about various gaming topics. From old games to new, everything is fair game. So how are you this evening, Sword?
Doing good. Always good to be back on.
So for today's topic, we're not actually going to be talking about an existing game as of yet, but a future game that's coming, or they say it's coming.
Allegedly.
It's probably going to come, given the series track record, and that's Persona 6. Yeah.
Or I think the alternate name for this episode should be "Where the hell is Persona 6?"
Don't worry. Do you remember how long it took for Persona 5 to come out?
That's true.
I guess the topic is basically what would we like or think is going to be in Persona 6, essentially. Now, it's kind of hard for me to say what do I expect from Persona 6. It's like in Persona 5, they introduced various things that I didn't know I needed until I actually got it. Like confidant abilities. I didn't like. I was pretty okay with confidants just being an experience boost, like it was in Persona 3 and 4. But having abilities and neat little things you can do with your confidant outside of fusion summoning was really cool, I think. So
I think that was definitely the best implementation of the social system in the new one, the new games.
So yeah, like I said, it's kind of hard to see what kind of mechanics that Persona 6 will bring. Just because it's probably a mechanic that we're not going to expect, but they're probably going to pull off pretty well. Maybe.
They always kind of manage to one-up themselves somehow, I feel like.
I think gameplay-wise, they have been getting stronger and stronger. Even though like the balance has been easier. Easier. Especially in
to
the
say the
re-releases.
least.
Yeah. Let me just ask you, do you think that Persona 6 will have a re-release? Like Persona 5 did, Persona 4 did, and Persona 3
I'd be shocked
did.
if it didn't.
If you didn't?
I'm fully expecting a Persona 6 Platinum or some shit, like 2 years down the road after it's released.
I'm only asking you since with how Persona 3 is apparently not getting a re-release. Persona 3 Reload.
Allegedly. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I feel like they're gonna say that because if they come right out and say, oh, by the way, guys, we're making an enhanced version of this, people aren't gonna buy the vanilla version. Maybe not necessarily for everybody, but I feel like people are gonna. It's like, look at what happened to SMT5.
Yeah. I heard that some people are mixed on SMT5. My friend included.
I played it for like probably the first little chunk. I thought it was alright. I thought it was kind of forgettable, to be honest.
Okay.
I'll check out Vengeance though.
Like, if they do only ever release one version of the game, I would like for it to be a much more better balance than the previous re-releases.
Yeah, maybe not add so many new mechanics that
I don't mind adding the mechanics, just balance it around it.
No. But like I think some of the new enhancements in Royal kind of did destroy the balance.
Yeah.
Like how you could basically just ambush anything with that one ability. And like what was that hook ability that you got? I forgot what it was, but yeah, there was like there was some game breaking stuff in that.
There's also some really neat stuff I think that added to the combat, like technical damage too, when you add status effects to various enemies.
Yeah, it incentivizes you to attack enemies.
Like it incentivizes status effects much more than just hitting elemental weaknesses, which is really cool. I'm wondering if they'll allow bosses to have more status effects in the future. Because like
It's possible.
as it is, like I don't feel like status effect is really a non-factor in Persona so far. Besides like debuffs.
I feel like buffing and debuffing are really like the main.
Yeah.
They're like status effects are more so like just a minor thorn in your side.
Yeah, which is strange coming from Tales now, since I played it. There's like there are a lot of various bosses that can get affected by status effects, which is really cool.
Yeah, because I feel like in most other RPGs, there's really no point in using status effects because I feel like bosses are almost always immune to them.
I'm gonna tell you, like recent tales have been changing that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially like with like Zestiria or Berseria. Like status effects affect a lot of things in that game. But then like our bosses also get affected by status effects. I remember like me and my friend were playing through Zillia 2. And we were fighting this Giganto monster, and then we were at the tail end, and then I affected him with the burn status. Oh, I didn't know it was, and then the boss had like 10-50% health. Boom, it's dead. Like 5 seconds, and we were like, what the heck? What happened?
Damn.
Yeah, like so having status effects affect the boss more, I think, would be cool in Persona 6. Especially since like they're trying to play around status effects with technical damage in Persona 5 Royal.
Yeah, so I think that if they kind of take what they already have
Yeah.
and just like flesh it out, or
Yeah.
I think that would be a nice touch.
Like not make every status effect be applicable to every boss, but a particular status effect that would make sense. You know?
'Cause I think that Royal was kind of on the right track.
Yeah.
Like bosses in that way.
But yeah,
Like,
I would like for like Persona 6 to be a much more balanced game.
Yeah, because I definitely feel like the last couple of entries have been like
Yeah.
if in Reload, that game is just way too easy.
Yeah.
Even without it having like confidant abilities that Persona 5 has, it's still like they completely neutered the balancing for sure.
I'm half on it. Like I do want the game to be more very balanced. I do think like mechanics introduced does make the game more interesting, even if it is easier. I would like it to be harder rather than easier.
And I think that I don't
Yeah.
think it has to be cripplingly difficult to be like enjoyable. Yeah. And even though it is easier, I still think that having all those extra mechanics makes it a lot more fun to play around with. I will say, when it comes to the combat, though, we're at a point now where I kind of feel like we need a change in the combat, because we've been having this same battle system for like over a day, or almost 20 years.
We want them to add another system from Shin Megami Tensei, like they did with the negotiation system.
I'm not big on negotiations. I do think that Persona 5 did a better implementation of it because it's not as RNG, and I do think because that was something that always irritates me about the main series, is I feel like there's just too much luck involved. I'm more so talking about, honestly, kind of maybe not a revamp of the combat, but something just all I can really say is like change it up a little bit, because when it comes to getting the one more system, the all-out attacks, it's all been there, done that at this point. It's all played out, in my opinion. So I think we need some kind of revamp. Like, still keep the emphasis on exploiting weaknesses, because that's kind of part of what gives the series its identity. But I think we need like some new mechanics or some kind of change in the combat, because as great as it is, and as it works well, but too much of a good thing is still a good thing, and I think we need to kind of like revamp it into something different.
Dungeons.
I think they should.
Yeah.
I was to say. I do think that they should keep what Persona 5 did and have fixed dungeons, not randomly generated dungeons, for sure. They have puzzles in them. Because Persona 5, the puzzles were easy, but they were there, and every dungeon felt unique. And I think that Persona 6 should follow suit.
So, would you rather Persona 6 just have a main set of dungeons as well as like a randomly generated dungeon, like with mementos?
I think something like that. Yeah. I don't think that formula worked well enough, so I think that I think that's fine. And obviously, keep all of the quality of life enhancements for like the things like that. Keep the manual skill inheritance for sure. Things like that. I think Persona 5 had a good, a lot of good mechanics when it came to the system.
Imagine being able to select your own skills.
I know, right? Like, who would have thunk it? That is such a mind-blowing concept.
How about Persona Fusion? I think like that has been almost the same. Like the only thing that changes is having more quality of life changes, I think, to the formula.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't really know if there's much more
Mhm.
they can really do with it. I mean, the
Mhm.
quality of life enhancements are nice. I mean, there's different kinds of fusions, like the Pentagon fusion, the whatever, all those other ones.
Okay.
But I don't really know if there's much more they can change or add, really.
Mm,
But it's kind of that's another thing that's kind of a staple
yeah.
of the franchise in general. So I don't know if like getting rid of it and would be the solution.
No. I'm just saying in terms of changing it.
Yeah, no, there's probably one or two maybe little enhancements they can do to make, but otherwise, I think that Persona 5 pretty much perfected.
Yeah.
And also, side note, we got to keep something pretty like um, the execution of the fusions. I love that. Or have the gallows and things like that.
No, okay. Something visually
Yeah,
appealing.
visually interesting. So I think that I don't know if you'll be able to match what 5 did because that was really like over the top and edgy, but I loved it. So
I would say
that.
like it is hard to go back to how other games go through the fusion. It's just mostly Igor using cards together.
It's kind of like how in Persona 3, where you'll never match what they did with summoning personas, where you literally put a gun to your head
Yeah.
and pull the trigger. That's nothing will ever be done like that again. Nothing will ever match that. But as far as fusion goes, I really think it's pretty much perfect the way it is.
How about the social links?
So that was something I was kind of thinking about. Like, on the one hand, it's been exactly the same for 3 games. Like, it's been literally exactly the same. But at the same time, that's something I don't think is a good idea to axe, because that's another thing that kind of gives Persona its identity and stands out.
It's one of the main elements, I think, that separates
it's one of the main
Persona from Shin Megami Tensei.
And what I think would be better to have a compromise is to have an adult tag, because I feel like the high school setting makes the calendars feel very formulaic.
I was gonna say that for the setting.
And I've seen some people say college. I wouldn't even say that, because I really don't think that would be that much different from high school. Like, have like your main character have like a job they go to. Maybe you could, I don't know. You could hey, say I want to like plan ahead and say I want my main character to have off on this day, and then you got to fill in another day for work, and that way you have a little more freedom and flexibility with how you want to manage days or something like that. Because like I said, with the way that 3, 4, and 5 do it, it's like it works great, but it is very formulaic. So I feel like if you have like an adult main character, you could do a lot more with the calendar system.
I would say that I would like for them to keep the confidant abilities they really need, and makes like leveling up an actual confidant rank to be pretty cool. Keep the voice confidants or keep the voice social links from Persona 3 Reload to here, because
that was such a great touch. I loved that. It added so much life to the social link.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they can do to make the social link. They could probably do various things to make social links much more interesting, but it probably at the cost of players' frustration.
See, this is a little touch I feel like people don't give this credit for, is in Persona 4, there was actually a couple of social links that were branching, where you could have different, like for example, for the sports club, you could either do basketball or soccer, and that'll be a totally different social link.
You could do that Persona 3 FAS as well.
You could, but it's the same character in the same story.
You mean like the different characters? Yeah.
Yeah. And Persona, and then you had the you could do drama club or music club, and again, 2 totally different stories. And I think that Persona 6 should do something like that, where it has branching social links, but do a little more with it.
Okay.
And maybe you could even go the extra mile, and when you do a branching social link, you could have like, oh, here's this character, and that'll start a new social link. And then on a second playthrough, it could unlock different branches. Something like that. Add a lot of replay value. But as far as like the quality of life enhancements, like I think that the abilities, the confidant abilities, or whatever they're going to call them, keep that as is, and just do their own thing.
I think it would be interesting to be able to track how much progress you're making with each character, rather than just guessing and thinking of
like how many more times you have to hang out with them,
and how much times you had to earn affection with them.
That's another thing I think would be nice, because you could like plan ahead and say, hey, do I want to get a little more points towards this rank up, or do I want this other character who will actually level up?
the choices that affect affection points. Do you want those to still stay in Persona?
It's kind of weird because on the one hand, I think it's nice, but on the other hand, you're always gonna want to tell the character what they want to hear, or you're always gonna want to gun for a certain option.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like it really limits like the freedom you can do because if you're playing it blind, you'll have no So you kind of gotta go with your gut and always tell the character what they want to hear, or if you want to just cheat and look up a guide, you can do that. So on the one hand, I think they're nice. But on the other hand, I feel like it's kind of limiting because you're always going to want to pick a certain choice.
Yeah, there's really not much they can do in regards to the social link system, in regards to keeping it as it is, as something you keep progressing and being something out of your mind once you complete it. Because like the other stuff they can do is like bring back the reverse link shit or Persona 3 FES a bit.
Maybe.
Like Persona 3 FES biggest problem with reverse link was mostly the female's romantic routes. Since
they were kind of
since
creepy.
You couldn't not date the female characters once you progressed through them.
Yeah, so you gotta be like you gotta be a player whether you like it or not. Yeah,
the problem with the reverse link in that is like you had no choice but to get reverse link.
Yeah, so you got to be a cheating scumbag no matter what.
I think it would be a more interesting concept with reverse link if like you get reverse link if you don't hang out with this character for like long stretches of time.
Actually, that was actually what happened in Persona 3, believe it or not. If you leave them alone for too long, then they get reversed.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like a lot of people probably don't know that because I think it takes like a really long time for that to happen.
Like, I think it would be interesting in confident ability game, since like if you reverse link, you take away their confident abilities, which will give you more incentive to hang out with them.
Have a little consequence for like neglecting certain characters.
Now, like I think it'd be more fair, like if you can hang out with people in groups, so that you can hang out with a person that you already hanged out with, as well as progressing other people's social links. Yeah,
something like that. I think that's a good touch. You see, these are like they're little things, but I think adding little tidbits like this can add up and make it make a big difference.
Like it'll make you actually feel like the actual relationship instead of just like goalposts. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, all these little things I think would make for like a really dynamic system, and pretty much enhance what Persona 5 honestly already perfected.
How about social stats? Do you think you want them to just keep it the same as well?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see any reason to change it really or do anything different, because I feel like that's kind of another thing that really heavily ties to the social system.
Yeah.
Now, this might be a little bit of a take or something, but honestly, I kind of like the fact that Persona 5 had a lot of like stat walls for the simple fact that it makes the stat building feel important. Because I noticed that in Persona 3 and 4, they were there for sure, but I feel like they weren't there that much to the point where it feels like it's a big barrier. But for a lot of the confidants of Persona 5, I feel like they would like lock you off and say you need this stat at this level. So I feel like it makes the stats feel more important to the gameplay.
I do think like social stat building is interesting in its current iteration in conjunction with the calendar system, and you having to manage your time in managing your social links, being able to dungeon crawl, as well as building up your social stats so you can do more shit with the social link stuff.
Yeah, like I don't really think there's anything more they could do with it or change.
Would you like for social stats to actually affect you in combat?
You know what's funny you're saying that? Actually, I think that would be a good touch, because maybe getting your, I don't know, courage to whatever level could give you some kind of like strength stat boost, or it could give you whatever, something like that. So it makes it feel kind of the same way how the confidant ability is tied to the combat. So I think why not add that to your stats?
How about your social stats affecting what kind of persona you can fuse?
That's actually that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like for the like for the basic personas, no,
Yeah.
but for like the more powerful ones, like when you get to the upper tier of the fusions, maybe you need a certain level of whatever the stat they're gonna call it. Another thing that would definitely make the stats feel integral.
But yeah, like I think like there are a bunch of stuff they can add to the social link, so mechanic and social stat mechanic that can make the game more interesting. I guess we should talk about the settings since we already talked about it a bit. So,
Actually, yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up too.
Yeah. Do you think we're still going to be in high school?
I hate to say it, but I really think we are, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, probably.
I want to change. I want to do something different. I would love to have like an adult cast, because here's the thing is I feel like a lot of the people that started this series with Persona 3, like when it came out, they're like, I was like 13 when I played Persona 3 for the first time, and I'm an adult and I don't relate to teenagers anymore. So I feel like a lot of the people that have been sticking with this series are all adults now. So I feel like if you want to keep the appeal to the people that have been with the series for a long time, you should probably make the characters more relatable to the people that are playing it now.
Realistically, it'll probably be high school.
Yeah, I mean, because that's been the winning formula since 3, and that's probably what's going to happen, whether we like it or not. It is
ideally, like maybe it'd be college or you working. Like working full time, I feel may make it rough to fit within the current social link mechanic, and that's mostly due to how the work culture is in Japan.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that, because here's another little bit of a hot take. But so I beat Infinite Wealth, Yakuza Infinite Wealth, not that long ago, and they moved that. The majority of that game takes place in America, takes place in Hawaii.
Okay.
Why not do that with Persona?
I'm just saying.
Why not have?
I'm just saying, like, if it took place in Japan, making you like an actual adult working a full-time job is going to be hard to work.
Yeah,
with.
The
work culture
is
just it's just different. It's much more intense.
If it was the work over here, then it would be a lot different. Like because most jobs are Monday to Friday, like a school setting is. You know what I mean? So
like we have to remember that this is a Japanese game made for Japanese people.
Right. Yeah, that's right. You got to take into account the setting and the culture, for sure. Because I feel like if it did take place in an American setting, you could make that work.
It would work.
Yeah.
It's just like the 9 to 4.
The 9 to 5, whatever.
5,
yeah. That's because Yakuza did it, and honestly, I think they did a great job. They did a great job with you could either have your character be like from Japan who moved to America, just like Yakuza Infinite Wealth, or you could have maybe go full-blown American for all we know. But I think that would be a different change of pace, because I think, like I said, Infinite Wealth did an excellent job at capturing that setting. Okay. So I think it would be a really interesting change.
So yeah, maybe make it take place in a different location altogether, away from Japan, and maybe adult cast, maybe.
Those are my two biggest wants: adult cast and maybe new setting.
Don't worry, even if they have an adult cast, they'll probably be children still. Don't worry.
Or how about this? If they insist, if they absolutely insist on having a high school protagonist, maybe have a diverse age range of characters. Maybe have some of the characters be adults. Maybe maybe even have a young child, kind of like Kanemata. Something like that. Have a diverse, like, why does every character have to be in the same fucking class and they're all the Persona users in your party?
Remember Berseria? The only kid character was an actual... Yeah, I'm not sure I should say this. That's a spoiler.
Yeah, it might be kind of spoiler territory.
Well, most of the characters Berseria was like... Well, Velvet's like 19. But the rest of the... and
somehow. She looks like she's 28.
Yeah. And Eleanor's like 18.
What?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. Do you know how old Tyr is in Abyss?
Isn't she like 16 or something
like that? Yeah, she's 16. You know how old Vaughn is?
So either Japan...
Do you know how old Vaughn is?
No, how old is he?
28.
He's 50! I don't think Japan understands how age works in human beings.
You know Barrow and Arts?
Mm-hmm.
He's 18.
what the? That's the opposite problem. It's like she's 12. Dude, what the hell is going on?
But yeah, a cast of varying ages would work.
I think so.
Like
I said,
I think it's more depends on how they write the characters, though. That'll make it much more adult.
I just think I've always found it kind of contrived in 3, 4, and 5, where like the 3 starting party members are always in the same goddamn class every time, and they're your founding members of the party.
Yeah.
Same class, same school, maybe a grade lower or above, depending on the game. But other than that, yeah.
I mean, Persona 5 kind of changed that with Yusuke.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. You got one guy from a different school, and then you got a girl who's a recluse.
At least, like, they're not afraid of adding adult characters to Persona. If Strikers is any indication.
Yeah, and that's a step in the right direction. Yeah. I like that. I just wish they would go the extra mile and do more with that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, honestly, like most of the people playing Persona are adults now. They started with 3, and like me, like I said, I think I was like 13 or 14 when I played 3. And
just make the characters like Berseria, you know?
Yeah. Make them in their late teens and they look like they're in their 30s.
No, or just like add like your eyes and the Rokuro.
Yeah.
And even Velvet, like, you know, it'll add much more adult because of the, you know, shit she's going through.
Yeah. I think the last thing I would probably say that I would love to see is what Persona 3 Portable did. Have a gender choice of your character, and then also have exclusive content.
Wait. Do you think they'll make a female main character for Persona 6?
Honestly, I could see it happening, considering the fact that there was a big backlash to Reload for not including her. So I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to go that route and included one.
I feel like it would be incredibly interesting for them to go that route, especially due to the particular type of people the Persona attracts. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Some things are better left instead.
Because like the social links will probably be the same, but like the main appeal of the romance aspect would change if the main character was a girl.
Yeah, but even then, I still think that having a couple of social links unique to each protagonist would be interesting. Like
if they do like different type of like female or male protagonist. I'm just saying if it's just like solely female protagonist, I think that would be interesting.
Yeah. Just please no underage romance this time, please. Thank you. But that's kind of all my thoughts on what I'd like to see or what they might do.
But yeah, like overall, it's kind of hard to say what they will add. So we're just saying stuff.
We're speculating.
We're just saying stuff that we think we would like to remain the same in Persona 5, Persona 6. Either that or coming up with changes that will make the game at least a bit
like a little more interesting, I guess.
Since like Persona 3, 4, and 5, despite how different they are compared to other RPGs, are kind of formulaic in terms of how they structure those games.
Especially considering the fact that it's been 3 games in a row. So you pretty much like they're all great. They're all really great. But like
it helps that like each game takes like 10 years to release from each other. To 5-10 years for the release from each other that you don't even remember how similar they are.
It's wild because there was actually only like like 2 years between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But that's because the 4 reused a lot of assets from 3, so I figured it's probably a lot easier to make a comparison. But even still, like damn, like I think 5 came out like 8 years after 4.
Yeah.
That was wild. But Persona 6 just getting, god damn it.
Yeah. Maybe they'll announce it after Fantasia. What's that game called again?
Fantasia or something? It had a weird name.
Fantasio, Metaphor into Fantasio.
Yeah, right.
We might get more news once they get that game out. I know.
Oh. Yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh no, you first.
Oh, I was gonna say there was one last thing about about Persona 6 that I was thinking is what do you think the musical style is gonna be? Because in 3 we had like kind of like hip hop and rap. 4 was just straight up J-pop, and then 5 was like acid jazz. So I'm kind of thinking like I think Persona 6 should kind of go back to like the old school SMP and kind of go like back to like the more metal route. But
Don't
keep the
worry.
vocals
Don't
that Persona
worry.
is known for.
Don't worry. You'll go dubstep.
Like the last thing I want. Oh my god.
Judgment had dubstep on it, which kind of worked.
Yeah, but
You know, it's not like the ideal music route I would go for, but you know.
yeah. See, I think it would be cool though if they had like some like going back to like rock tracks, kind of like that we used to see in like Nocturne and Digital Devil Saga, something like that. That'd be pretty cool. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much all I really have for kind of like what I want to see or what we might get for Persona 6.
Do you think we're gonna get more Persona 5 spin-offs before Persona 6?
I would be fucking surprised if we didn't, honestly.
There's already the mobile game coming already out, I think.
Yeah, what was that called?
Let me check. Persona 5 mobile game. Oh,
that's
Phantom
right,
X?
Phantom X.
Phantom X,
Right,
yeah.
right.
It's a gotcha, I think.
We have more 5 spin-offs than 4 spin-offs. How is that possible?
You know what we still don't have?
Ooh.
A Persona 5 arena game?
I was just about to say that.
Why do we have a Persona 5 arena game yet?
Why do we have 2 arena games is the question.
I mean, like...
And 2 anime adaptations.
Like, Persona 4 Arena or Arena Ultimax, like, they had more Persona 3 characters in there, in Ultimax. Yeah.
Yes.
But, like, Persona 4 Arena is really like a Persona 3 and 4 Arena game, despite saying Persona 4.
So really, the only thing we need is 2 fighting games and a royal anime adaptation, then we're set. Then the trifecta is complete.
You ever played Persona 4 Arena games?
I got Arena like when it came out. I'm really not into fighting games, honestly. So I just really wasn't my cup of tea.
It's a good thing it came out. I've been told I'm kind of toxic in fighting games.
Yeah, maybe that was best. I've kind of gotten all my thoughts out. I can't really think. I can't really think of anything else. I mean, we have no way what the story's going to be about or what we have or what we hope. That's totally subjective. That's a totally different topic.
Do you think it's probably going to be a sure thing? But do you think we're all going to fight a god again?
God.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, we're going to fight God.
I say a god, but you know.
Yeah. No. I'm talking about like the whatever incarnation.
The manifestation of people's
of humanity's wishes, right?
Particular aspect.
It's like, we have this god that came completely out of nowhere with no foreshadowing.
Like with Nyx is like people's desire to just
for death.
Yeah, for death. 4 is like just being swept up in your own fantasies about having to go on truth. 5 is like just your willingness to just go along with
basically just be a sheep, kinda.
Yeah, be a sheep. Yeah, like I think Persona 5 is where that trope gets a bit tiring, a bit.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna spoil it for people who haven't touched it yet, but I do think the way they revealed it was pretty cool with this one particular character. But otherwise, yeah, I agree. This is like completely played out, but I am fully prepared to fight some kind of like yelled about like bullshit at the end.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whenever it comes out,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be great. But those are some of my like hopes and wants, expectations
Hopefully, it comes out
within our lifetime.
Yeah. You know, hopefully a new Tales game comes out before Persona 6.
That's a good question. I wonder what's gonna come out first, or what's gonna be announced first. I think is my bigger question. Because when did Arise come out? That was a few
3
years ago.
ago.
Wasn't it? Was it 20? It was 2021, right? I think.
I think it's 3
Yeah,
years.
something like that.
I don't know. Now, like, if it's not Dragon Ball, Namco's like, whatever.
They're pretty much silent.
That's how it feels, at least.
Mm-hmm. I remember there's a pretty big window between Berseria.
Like they have or like they have opposite problem. Tail is like not getting enough attention. Persona is getting way too much attention compared to the rest of the series it gets.
Literally the complete opposite extremes of each other.
Yeah. I think that's all, really. At least from the top. At least from the top of my head right now.
Yeah, same. That's pretty much all my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Well, that's all for today's episode of Sirus Gaming Corner. Hope you guys enjoy it, and you want just post what you would like in a Persona 6 down in the comments. Thank you.
Yep, take care, everyone.